Hi there, boys and girls. Miss Wicks here today. Um, Welcome to your last day of your second week of ELA. Today we're working on something called describing comparisons. Now, we've all heard the word comparisons before when we compare and we contrast, but today we're going to go a little further into it when we're reading. Let's take a look at our learning target. Describing the connections between ideas in a text will help you understand what the author is explaining. So let's take a peek. Authors work carefully to show connections among ideas in their writing. This means that they make sure readers understand how sentences and paragraphs are connected and why the connections are important. Please pay attention to those keywords right there, boys and girls. How and why. Sometimes a writer shows connections by making a comparison between facts and ideas. Comparing means showing how two or more things are alike and different. Signal words such as like, as, also, and both show how things are alike. Signal words such as however, but, different, and unlike show how things are different. And boys and girls, these are the signal words that we've talked about a lot in class when we are doing our Venn diagrams for comparing and contrasting. So let's take a peek down here real quick. It tells me to read the following paragraph about toothbrushes. How does the comparison help you understand the subject? So it looks like we're comparing, looks like a toothbrush that we're used to seeing down here and maybe a different one. So let's see what this one's all about. Like people today, ancient peoples wanted to keep their teeth clean. They also used toothbrushes. However, signal word, their brushes were very different. Our toothbrushes are plastic with nylon bristles, but the first toothbrushes were made of twigs with crushed ends. Okay, you might see my other signal word right here. Now let's go over here to my next page that I have already done and completed, and I want you to see how we took apart that paragraph and how we looked for the signal words, and we saw the purpose of these comparisons. Why did they put specific signal words? Okay, why did the author want to make those words stand out? So the first sentence we see is, like people today, ancient peoples wanted to keep their teeth clean. Signal word, like. Okay, that is going to show us that something is the same as or similar to show one way ancient people were like people today. Okay, both people today and ancient people wanted to keep their teeth clean. One comparison. Next one, they also used toothbrushes. However, their brushes were very different. Signal words. Now here we see a signal word of also, which means that we're comparing something, but we also see the signal word however, which typically means we're showing how something is different. So they tell us the purpose is to show a way ancient people were like people today and a way they were different. So it wanted to show us both, like what we would on a Venn diagram. And lastly, our toothbrushes are plastic with nylon bristles, but the first toothbrushes were made of twigs with crushed ends. Signal word, we see but, to show how ancient toothbrushes were different from modern or our nowadays toothbrushes. Okay, so we can see how these signal words in our writing and when we read something isn't just there to transition sometimes, but it's also there to show us that the author is trying to give us a purpose of why they would be using them to compare or to contrast. Now I'm going to read for you the story that you guys are going to be answering questions to. And today's story is called The Great Inca Road by Hilary Dumitrescu. Please pay attention to numbered paragraphs. Once again, I always remind you guys of those because most times, honestly, your questions will ask you to go to a specific numbered paragraph. So take advantage that they do it for you. And as I'm reading, I want you to also try to pay attention Do you hear any signal words that show you comparing and contrasting? And think, why is the author using these words at this time? Roads are difficult to build and expensive to take care of. However, a great civilization needs great roads. Roads connect people to the goods they need to live. They allow the government to send help where it is needed. Even the most ancient civilizations understood the need for good roads. High in the Andes Mountains, the Incan Empire thrived for hundreds of years. When Spanish explorers arrived in the 16th century, they were amazed by the roads they found. Even the longest Roman road, the Via Appia, was not as long as the Inca's royal way. The Incan road was 3,500 miles long. Like the Via Appia, the royal way connected the capital to other parts of the empire. More roads connected to it. All in all, the Inca road stretched for 23,000 miles. Unlike the Romans, the Incas did not have wheels or carts. Instead, they rode llamas. I'm going to stop right there, and I want you to make sure you're paying attention to that signal word that they started this paragraph 3 with, unlike. So it's showing me right now how the Romans and the Incas did something a little different. These sturdy animals carried people and goods all over the empire. Messengers known as chaquis ran along the Inca road. They carried messages from the king to all of his people. The Inca road passed through high mountains. To safely cross the deep mountain ravines, the Incas built amazing hanging bridges. These bridges were not made out of steel like modern bridges. Instead, they were woven out of plant fibers. But the Spanish found that the bridges were strong enough to carry soldiers and horses safely. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of today's reading. I want you to make sure that you're looking at the next part of your assignment, going in and answering those 2 multiple choice questions and taking your time on your short answer. All of us third grade teachers are going in and reading your answers, especially to your short responses. Remember, short responses should not be just a couple words. It honestly should not even just be 1 sentence. Your short responses should be between, we said, to 2 to 4 sentences, making sure you are using your details and making sure you're answering every part of the question. All right, good luck, boys and girls, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Take some brain break time and enjoy yourselves, okay? Stay healthy, keep safe. Miss you guys.